A while ago, I watched a video of 50 Marvel's what ifs, where the YouTuber talked about 50 what if ideas that could be done for the show What If, Marvel's What If. Now, I'm doing the same thing, but with Star Wars. Now, just to clear things up before I do this list, the first couple of what ifs I have for Star Wars are going to be very obvious. And I'm just going to cover those right away because people are going to be like, why? What about this one? This is a very obvious one. But the more we go down the list, the more obscure and interesting it will be. Now, do I think that that Lucasfilm will ever do a Star Wars What If show similar to Marvel's? Most likely no, because it doesn't fit Star Wars itself. And how does it fit in the canon? Even though I think it would work better if it was non-canon, every episode's just this different story. But at the same time, I can see it being repetitive, because Star Wars is very set in stone franchise. Like, stuff, if it's changed, certain results will be the same. You know what I mean? Also, all of this is going to be covering all of Star Wars. So if you don't want to get spoiled by anything of Star Wars, or anything canon at least, then watch all of Star Wars, then come back to this video, because I cover at least one from all of Star Wars. So, also, I'm not going to be going over everything. The things that I find interesting, I will personally talk about. But I'm just going to go through these very quickly, because I don't really have much to say on it, or if I'll basically repeat myself if I were to. So, without further ado, let's just get going with this. What if Anakin never turned to the dark side? Luke joined the dark side in Episode 5. Qui-Gon survived his duel with Darth Maul. Anakin won the duel on Mustafar. Vader survived after Episode 6. Palpatine died when Vader threw him in the pit in Episode 6. Obi-Wan and Yoda joined the rebellion. Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewbacca all died in the trash compactor. Palpatine never became a Sith Lord. Maul didn't lose in his duel on Naboo. Ahsoka never left the Jedi Order. This story, and the reason I'm talking about this one, is because this was already been told by Thor Skywalker. It's really interesting, and you should go check it out after this video, because it's very interesting how everything unfolds, and it gets very, very big with the story. Cal and Seer continue their plans to rebuild the Jedi Order. Mace Windu killed Palpatine in their duel. Anakin went to Mandalore instead of Ahsoka. Anakin never lost his memory of what he will become in the Mortis arc. Pong Krell never died in the Umbara arc. Mando let IG-11 kill Grogu. Boba Fett never took over Jabba's throne. Ben Solo never turned to the dark side. Luke didn't go into Ben's hut. Han was never freed from his carbonite. This one is very interesting. Imagine Han being unfrozen during the sequel trilogy. How would he react to old Leia, the First Order, assuming that will still be a thing? Because I think a lot of what Star Wars, like the events of Star Wars, didn't really rely on Han. Like, Han being frozen in carbonite didn't change anything in Episode 6. It didn't really change anything in the sequel trilogy, really, from my knowledge, or what the canon of is right now. So that'll be a very interesting perspective on what Han, a young Han, would feel if he was transported, if he time traveled to 30 years in the future. Luke never went into exile. Palpatine failed to kill Plagueis and Palpatine died as a result. Order 66 failed. Palpatine used the Final Order and the First Order. The Clone Wars never happened. Qui-Gon never found Anakin. Anakin and Padme never fell in love. Obi-Wan left the Jedi Order with Satine when he was younger. Vader killed Palpatine before the original trilogy. Kylo Ren killed Snoke before the sequel trilogy. Poe died when they crashed on Jakku. Luke didn't show up to get Grogu. Jango Fett never died. If Jango Fett never died, then I think it would be a very interesting story to see how the Empire would have dealt with Jango Fett. because that would have changed the Clone Wars drastically, having Jango Fett survive. They probably would have had him captured and probably imprisoned in Kamino to just take his DNA. I think it'd be more of like a horror show to see what Jango Fett would become. Years and years of like getting, the Kaminoans taking his DNA. I think how would Jango Fett look? How would Boba Fett try to get his father out of Kamino? Like, I think it'd be a cool breakout, like a jail breakout story. In that sense, Luke failed to blow up the Death Star. Finn never defected from the First Order. Palpatine got access to the world between worlds. Ezra never joined the Ghost Crew. The crew of the Colossus joined the Resistance after Season 1. The reason I include this what if, because I had a different one. If you don't know, in Resistance, the crew of the ship called the Colossus, after Season 1, they were looking for the Resistance. But they kind of dropped that plot point, which I kind of wanted them to continue, and I think they should have, because them meeting Poe, because the main character of that show met Poe, and I think it'd be funny to have Poe, Finn, and Kaz talk to each other, and it'd be a comedic moment where, both Finn and Kaz argue about who's the best friend of Poe, because Poe has two best friends basically. I don't consider Poe and Kaz to be friends in the show, so I think that'd be a funny a confrontation that they would have. Thrawn didn't get taken away by Ezra in Season 4. Dooku revealed Palpatine is a Sith Lord to Anakin before he died. Vader never turned back to the light. Reva's plan to kill Vader/Luke worked. Luke stayed on Dagobah and continued his training with Yoda. The Bad Batch stayed with the Empire. The Separatists made an intelligent droid that eventually took over the universe. This will be a very cool story. I was inspired by Ultron in the Marvel's What If. Imagine just a sentient droid instantly taking over the universe, figuring out that Palpatine controlled the Clone Wars. This droid kills Palpatine, basically kills everyone on both sides of the Clone Wars. This droid creates his own droid army. They're all advanced, and they all take over all organic life. Over the decades, he's killing every organic life, to the point where there is no organic lives anymore. That'd be such a cool story. The Jedi became extinct during the end of the Old Republic instead of the Sith. I like this one, because imagine the Sith being the main Force users instead of the Jedi. I think it'd be cool if it was a role reversal, but I think that'd be cool, but I don't know how much story potential that could be. I think it'd be cool to see it from the Sith perspective, if the Sith never adopted the rule of two, how would they live? The events of A New Hope were told in real life. Imagine A New Hope, but in real life, on Earth. You have a real wizard, a farm boy, a smuggler, imagine it was all based off of real life. I think that'd be cool in a kind of a half-hour time slot to just kind of retell the story very quickly in real life type of thing, in Earth, real Earth terminology, and Luke being an actual farmer for with crops, This one is probably the most outlandish of all 50. So it's, what if Thanos, when he escaped using his portal at the end of Infinity War, he teleported into the Star Wars universe? Imagine that. A crossover between Star Wars and Marvel. This will never happen. But imagine Thanos going to the Star Wars universe, and Palpatine senses Thanos, assuming this is the original trilogy, and he takes Thanos, and he pretty much kills him and takes the Infinity Stones, and becomes this very powerful being, and he just takes over the entire galaxy. He snaps his fingers. All of life disappears. It's just instant control. That'd be so cool to see, but it will never happen, because Star Wars does not like to cross over with anything else. So the 50th what if I have is, what if Darth Jar Jar was real? You knew that was last. Imagine if he was real. How would that impact the story? Would Darth Jar Jar be more powerful than Palpatine? Would he be more decisive? What would he be like? How did he go up to the top ranks of the Sith Lord? How did he become a Sith Lord? What happened? What is he gonna do? Is he gonna kill Anakin? Is Anakin gonna kill Jar Jar? Like, what? There's so many possible stories you could do with that. It's like an outlandish idea that I'm glad George Lucas never went through, because it's such a stupid idea. But in a what-if scenario, that'd be so good. Those are my 50 what-if ideas. Sorry if I sound a little bit different. I was close to my computer reading all of it. So do you like any of those 50 what-if ideas besides the obvious 5 that I did at the start? The rest of them were very different from one another, and I quite like them. And if Star Wars ever did a what-if style show, I hope they use some of my ideas, because it would pretty much be a really good idea to see on screen how different the story of Star Wars would go if one thing was changed. So I'm gonna go now. If you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'm going now, so goodbye everyone.